Bem-vindo! Hoje é o nosso primeiro programa falando no inglês, no ConecTv.
Welcome to the Algarve by ConecTv.
Natalia Rosso Properties, your key to unlocking your dream home. Kit and Caboodle, high-quality pre-loved furniture. GC Partners, our service is our currency. At Living Life Algarve by Cat Almeida.
Welcome back to the Algarve. As you know, Algarve's the place to come for the sunshine, the food, the wine, to relax. We all know this. However, we have a lot of people that come here to live, lots of immigrants, as you know, and there are other things to consider. We've got, whether it be education or where to live, types of housing, whatever it might be. Ultimately, you choose to move here, and we go through life, and it's great until it's not. It could be that you become unwell. It could be that your partner might pass away. We've got all these things to consider, and it's really, really important before you make that move, get something in place. And over the years, it's become, as obviously I've got older, it's become apparent that we don't have those services here in Portugal yet, or the ones we do are on a much lower level than we would probably find in other countries in Europe. So I'm really happy today to say to you that Beverley Rogers has joined me in the studio, and we're going to talk about what to do in those circumstances and situations. So if you've got a problem later in life, who are you going to call? Bev Rogers.
That's nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, Bev, your company. When did you set this up? We got Home Care Algarve.
Yes, Home Care Algarve has been in existence only recently. It's been 4 years now, since September 2021. We managed to obtain our license from the Segurança Social, like the social services here in the Algarve. So not that long.
Well, it's not surprising that, I mean, there's such a need here. There's such a need. So it's not surprising that everything has grown to the point that it has, because you are offering 24-hour care,
yes,
respite care,
yes,
specialist care.
yes, mental health care, cancer specialists. We have rehabilitation therapists that work with us. We have a team of nurses along the Algarve, from Budens to Vera, up in Alentejo now as well. So it takes time. It's taken a lot of time and energy, and it's 7 days a week around the clock, but determined, absolutely determined that this is something that's to be worthwhile definitely for the Algarve and Portugal, because there's
Absolutely.
not these sort of services.
Well,
here.
especially because we know we've got over 10% of the resident population are English-speaking immigrants. In the central Algarve area, we're looking at 26%. So the facilities that are in place in other areas of Portugal or in the Algarve are in Portuguese, and for all we try, we're not all great. And as you get older, your capacity to speak that other language diminishes.
Yes,
then you've got Alzheimer's, then you've got dementia.
Yes.
Now who are you going to talk to? Who's going to understand you or care enough? So that's where, of course, you come in.
Well, the thing is, people come here to retire. They come here to retire, and they're fortunate enough to come to this beautiful country. The Algarve is a paradise. It's an absolute paradise, and you come here with the hopes to live a good quality life. You can be in your 50s or 60s or even 70s, sell up from wherever you may be in other countries, and you come here. You might have a small property, a lovely property, whatever, and then invariably somebody will become unwell. We all age.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of, the public services here are also incredible, but there's something missing. So we are very much trying to bridge the gap between people being able to live safely, comfortably in their own homes for the rest of their lives. So they don't have to go into a nursing home. They don't have to leave the home behind them that they've known. They still have the contact with all their family, with their friends, and can live at home, whether it's from somebody needing companionship care that just needs a cup of tea, someone to talk to, someone to take them shopping, someone to call in on them.
That's so important, just that human contact, isn't it?
It is. Whether it's a telephone conversation, all the way through to the other side of the scale where we nurse people through the end of life at home. So we have doctors, nurses, we have the team, a palliative care team that are in the homes to make sure that this can happen for people. Yeah. It doesn't always happen that way, but most of the times it does. Yeah.
I know certainly with when we needed help with my family, there are agencies in the UK where they were pulling people in from Portugal and from Spain, more so than in the UK. So as the Algarve also has this, I don't know what you'd call it, there's like a vibration that draws in people who care. So presumably you've got quite a bank that you can call on, or that now work with you.
It's we started tiny, and we are not a big company. We are not, because I don't want to be a big company. There are many companies out there, but we need to do things realistically and by the book and with transparency. So we have a small office space where we have lots of people busy working in the office space. And we can reach out to many people across the whole length of the Algarve. And it's incredible. I'm blessed. I'm just totally blessed. I really am.
I should think you're also knackered.
I am. Can you tell?
Yeah, wow.
No, it takes a lot. So yes, it's my baby.
So just
if you like.
To clarify, let's say we have somebody who has onset dementia, or they've had an accident, whatever. So you can supply somebody who will go in 24 hours a day, stay over, live there for all intensive purposes. What are we talking about? 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off?
It depends. It depends. With mental health issues, it can depend what level of mental capacity the person might have. If it's very challenging, we will rotate care teams and nurses more frequently, because the last thing you need is a carer to become burnt out or overtired. So you've got to adjust accordingly.
And that's such a difficult balance, isn't it? Because you get the mental health issues, and so the changes themselves cause problems.
Yes, they do.
And yet when you're at that level, it can be that there needs to be, like you said, for the mental health of the carer.
With the mental health issues, you should change more frequently. We've had carers that have lived for 3 months with the same client, and then they have a break and a change. It really all depends. You have to look at the whole picture and judge realistically. Is the nationality? We have all sorts of issues with people. We have some amazing people that might not like a carer or nurse, or somebody that's got a tattoo because they're of a certain age and that's not what they would like. So they might like somebody with a cream colour skin and not a darker skin, or not a white skin. And we have to adjust everything according to the client. Mental health is huge in this country. It's really huge, and it's not tapped into really very much at all. We have the Alzheimer's Association that are incredible, that we work with, but we work alongside the people in the hospitals, the doctors. We reach out for help, for guidance. So we work under the umbrella of the Social Security. So we have that network around us. We are really lucky, fortunate that we can help many people. So in rotation, going back to what you were talking about, in rotation, it can be that somebody can live for a longer length of time. It can be that they change every 3 days. We have somebody that might only need help once a week for an hour and a half.
And of course, if you take that a little, the broader picture again, you might well have the partner of the person who's not well, or the child, or whatever it might be. They're going to need time out as well. They're not trained carers, but they've got it 24/7, and they've watched the deterioration. So, do you offer maybe respite care for them? Can they go on holiday for a couple of weeks and recharge?
Yes. So what we like to do is when somebody will reach out to us, they can reach out just to call if they want to, and then they might call back 2 weeks later and just have another chat, because it's the last thing people want to do is to see us. They don't want to see us, but then over time they really learn that they need us.
It's an extended part of the family.
It is, definitely. But so we would go, and initially we would go and have a conversation, just a conversation, meet somebody to know where they are, what's in the home, and what they actually need. And then come away, and then we talk as a team to see, can we fulfill the needs? What do we have to do? Reach out to the right people and go back to them, usually on the same day, to say, this is what we propose. How do you feel? And just make a plan purposely for that person, so that it will be tailor-made. And everyone is different, everyone is unique, and it has to be that way. And now we're all different, so you've got religion to consider, colour,
culture,
they've got
everything.
Everything. So we try, and so we invariably have every nationality of carer, every colour of carer, every shape, size, and nurses as well, because you just try to find the fit for those people. When you find a fit, it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
And try very, very hard to keep the same people with the same person.
It made a massive difference to my mum.
Really
we ended up with
important.
2 people who swapped, I think it was every 3 and 3 weeks.
Rotation.
And that was absolutely fine, whereas before, when we were just being sent people by an agency, it was very, very upsetting. Whether it was the food that was being cooked, when we're saying, you can't have this and can't, their mum's teeth aren't fitting properly, don't do that, and the meat was coming out and this sort of thing, it was, they lost, mum became a number. Whereas with the 2 people we ultimately were with, every time they opened the door, mum was like, oh, I haven't seen you for a while, it's straight back in. But something else that happened, I must say, a concern of mine, we did end up going private. We did it because during the pandemic, the people that were in and caring, the first carer that we ever had for mum lost dad just beforehand, so we needed to get a carer in. And bless her heart, she came in and she was there for 5 months straight away because she got locked down. So
oh gosh, of course.
But the agency didn't support her with anything. She didn't get a phone call. She wasn't put in contact with local people. It was myself and my sister that were trying to support the carer because we couldn't be there with mum. Now, if we weren't the people we are, that woman would have been there on her own completely. And what if she hadn't been getting on with mum, or mum wasn't getting on with her? So
how do you know?
So how do you? It's putting you on the spot here. How do you support your carers?
Well, I've worked in care for a long time, so it's in my family, and I worked for other companies, of course, as a carer, and a nursing assistant, and where you're not supported. And I came to a crunch point where I had a difficult situation with a particular client that I was living in with, and wasn't able to contact the agency I was working for. So I left that particular placement broken.
Yeah, I bet you
absolutely broken, and swore that I would never work in care again. I went, I did. I went home, I went back to the agency to say, I wouldn't work with them anymore particularly. And then strange things happen, as they do. And I helped.
Things happen when they're supposed to.
I suppose so. But I then went to help a neighbour. Then I don't have a job, so I helped a neighbour go back and forward to the hospital and the doctors, and then the doctor's surgery that I'd known for a very, very long time. in Albufeira asked me for help with somebody else and so on and so forth. But to do this correctly, you have to be licensed.
Yeah.
And to get a license in this country, as much as we adore this country, it is a little bit difficult. It takes time.
It's all so polite.
Time and energy. So I went down that road to build what we needed. But you have to have a technical director to have a license for a company. So we have a psychologist who's our technical director, which means the clients we have with mental health issues, she's on tap 24 hours a day, not just for the client, but for the family too. So she's their contact. We have a care coordinator who will visit the client, drop in and just pay a visit, whether it's just once in a blue moon and they also have the contact of the coordinator. Of course, everybody has my number. Absolutely everybody.
Even I've got your number.
And they can, the clients, the carers, the families can reach out to me. The phone is always on. We've just started an on-call system at the weekends, so calls go through to two of my colleagues, and there's somebody there 24 hours a day, whether it's for the client or the family. Family's so important, so important, and the support for the carer is what makes the company grow. And there are carers that don't feel supported because they might be in a placement that they might not be happy with, but they have to talk to us. Everybody has to be transparent and clear. And when information comes to us, we act on it. So within our office space, we have a young lady who makes all the schedules and the timetables for the carers and the clients, and she contacts every client or the family of the client if the client can't speak to us for whatever reason, to make sure that the carers that are in placement are correct. The client reaches her as well. The coordinator is available to them as well, the technical director and myself. So if they're not happy with something, we will invariably find out, please God, and you don't always get the right fit. You have to work on that.
I think also that was a learning curve for us. I think I interviewed 11 people, my sister interviewed about 16. Because we were so disillusioned by the agency, we thought, okay, we'll do this privately. I can't tell you the amount of people that rang and they were basically wanted to learn English.
I believe it. I believe that without a shadow of a doubt.
And the qualifications weren't really there, or they had the qualifications, the minimum qualifications, and they had some insurance. They had no interest. They didn't ask questions about mum, about her condition, about how long she'd been going down this road. There was nothing, and it was frightening, to be honest, to think that somebody might just, out of desperation, just say, okay, look, can you start on Tuesday? In the full belief that those qualifications meant that they were right. Absolutely not.
So you have to. It's absolutely the first thing you should do is when you've got somebody come through your door that says, yes, I'm a carer. Okay, then we have the paperwork for them to fill in. They have an interview. We are a company that does internal training as well. So our technical director, she's qualified to teach training, so they learn with us. The nurses in the field also, so when we have a carer in placement, the nurses can go out to the field and can teach one-to-one. That is the best training that a carer can have.
So if you had somebody who was interested in going into the field but doesn't have any qualifications or background at all, but they just have this empathy for it, could you take somebody at that level and train them from there, or somebody's already been doing it and you want to tweak?
We find that many times somebody that's got a real empathy for that are the best people you can find. I had a lady come in, she was South African with a backpack on. This is some time ago, she still works for us. She came in through the door because she'd seen the image on the outside of the office to ask what's going on. She hadn't long been in the country, and we said what we do. And she said she'd love to So she filled out the paperwork. She'd not worked here before. She's one of our main carers in the field now. She came with me to learn. She studied. There's so much you can do to learn and to understand about the caring industry, because there's so many levels. So yeah, she works with us. She had no idea, no clue. And this lady can do companionship care. She can also do palliative care. She's part of the palliative care team now, which is amazing.
It takes a special kind of individual to do that.
It does. If somebody is doing this job because it's for money, without the compassion, don't do it.
Yeah.
Please don't do it, because it's the wrong thing to do.
I know when I was training in osteopathy, there were a couple of people on the course, and they weren't asked to leave, but it was suggested that it was not going to be the right thing for them. Although they came in with the better qualifications than the rest of us, they just didn't have any empathy for what they were doing. It was another qualification and a few clicks here and there, and that was it, and they'd be chucking people out of the door. There was just no feeling.
No,
so the same sort of thing.
That's the first thing you have to have. You have to have compassion. We've had another lady came in to work in our office. She's only 38. She came, single mum, brought her son up on her own, and she had a second child who was 7 when she came to work with us. She came to work in admin. She had such a feel for the job. She is now one of our coordinators that goes out to teach people in the field care. She absolutely loves it. She organises, somebody needs a prescription, it's there for them. We have the pharmacies that work with us that do the blister packs to deliver the prescriptions. We need appointments, taking them to appointments, organising the transportation, getting doctor's appointments. Somebody comes to you to say they might have something wrong, they don't know what it is. Okay. You know, we help them with these things. It's somebody to talk to. And we all have issues.
And how about if, let's give you another case scenario here, what we're going to do. So somebody falls over in the middle of the night. They're obviously in shock, they're in pain, they're trying to call the emergency services and they're not getting the point across, they can't remember their address. Can they call you and you make that call for them?
Of course. Yeah. So we have
stupid question.
20 No, not at all. We have a 24-hour on-call. We're on call 24 hours a day. So no matter whether we've met somebody or not, if somebody can give us a location or it's just somebody to talk to, we can also have them talking to us while we're talking to the emergency services to put them together. There's many times we might be, for example, in Tavira and somebody's called somewhere else that really needs help. So we have people along the Algarve that can go immediately.
Fantastic.
We can call out to. The emergency services are fantastic. It's difficult to get hold of sometimes. We have a transporter that we use, thank God, that has a mobility seat, so we can go very often. We have, I have 1 or 2 gentlemen as well, that we have more than 2 gentlemen. We have 2 gentlemen particularly that will jump into the field and that will help with all sorts of things. Many people reach out.
And I think also it's difficult, obviously it's difficult in your own country if something's gone wrong to, you have that efficient person on the phone that's saying to you, and can you tell me what happened, or how are you feeling now, or that, and you think, I'm dying. So to get over that, I mean that by itself is a communication breakdown because you're not in the right mindset to be able to deal with it.
No, and many times you can't.
No,
you can't. No, it's so unfortunate in a lot of ways how people are on their own in this amazing country because, as you said, they come here, they retire, lovely, life to have in front of them, and then they could lose a life partner. Or they find themselves on their own. And as they age, friends do drop away. And as we age as well, your family that might be in another country, they also have their lives as well, that they, as they grow, they have things that they need to deal with and maybe can't come as much as you would want them to. So it's just bridging that gap. So we are there for people.
So what about, you touched on, we touched on religion and culture and et cetera, et cetera. So food, let's get back to Algarve and food. There's a lot of things you'll find, obviously the Muslim community won't eat the pork, and you'll have another, somebody else won't eat chicken, someone else is allergic to peanuts, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're carers, there's obviously an extensive training program anyway. But cooking has got to come into that as well.
It's one of the first questions we ask. Can you cook? If you can cook, you're in. No, not at all. But cooking is so important.
We had somebody who was incredibly well qualified. I don't know what Mum was getting, but it wasn't great. And the same carer was ordering Kentucky for herself every day. And you think, oh my God. So she's got all these incredible qualifications, but it wasn't going into place. It was just.
So we also have
sausage and mash. What's that about? They should getting sausage and mash.
But once in a while, it's great, but not all the time. No. So we have a nutritionist as well who works with us. She works out of our office, so she'll give plans. We also, the coordinator actually, only last week, put a plan in place for a particular gentleman who's got diabetes. Then he goes to the home, and that plan is on the client's fridge, and shopping has to be done according to the plan, and they have to follow the plan. Of course, the client has to like the food. That's really important. It helps. We also we also can outsource. So we have a gentleman that is on his own now. He doesn't have regular care, but he has one telephone call every day. Okay. We call him, he calls us. We call him, he needs anything, he calls us. He needs to go for an appointment, then we take him.
That's great. That's a lifeline for him.
It is. But we sourced a company that makes meals. So every week, so we have a carer that visits him. Actually, she's a nurse, and she's got the weekly menu, and he orders from the menu. They call together, and he puts his order in, and these foods are delivered to him every week in his freezer. And he's got a soup and a main meal and a little dessert every day. And he's got his breakfast. He can do his cornflakes and things like that. It's done. And on the visit that the carer goes, she takes him out as well for a coffee and lets him see the outside world. Otherwise, he doesn't see anybody else at all. Yeah, and that's a bit grim. I looked after a gentleman. Well, I didn't. That's not true. I looked after the gentleman's wife near Gear. She had multiple sclerosis. Fabulous. And she lost her battle. It's 5 years ago now. But the husband, who didn't particularly look after himself, had problems with his eyes. So his eyesight has diminished and diminished and diminished. And I go there and do his shopping for him. He's not a client. They become part of your care family. Yeah. So we've put him in touch with somebody else. So they are now we call them their buddies. So this number one calls number two one day, and number two calls number one another day. They call us every day, just 2 rings on the phone to say that they're okay. If no phone call has come through by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, somebody goes to the house. We're key holders. It's just a help.
That's fantastic.
It's somebody they can reach out to. They have our number and they can call us.
I think 24 hours is enough hours in the day for all of it. So, and you were saying that you cover a really wide area. Tell me again, which?
So mainly,
where do you start and finish?
Mainly we're just past Tavira, all the way through along the Algarve to Boudens, right past Luge.
Wow.
We are up a little bit in Alentejo. We've got 2 or 3 cases in Lisbon. We've got 4 cases in Porto. So there you have to have a case manager. So you have to have a coordinator that looks after those people and wherever they may be. So you have to have an office space, you have to have everything.
And you've done all this in 4 years. It just goes to show the need. Wow.
Yeah.
So we need to know how do we reach you? How do we get hold of you? And if people want to go back and learn more about what you're doing, we need your website details as well. Okay. So there's your camera over there. If so let us know obviously how to contact you, and then we'll put up lots more information afterwards on your Instagram, my Instagram, and we'll just just keep this going.
Amazing. So you can call at any time. If you have an emergency, you can call at any time. So we are www.homecarealgarve.com. That's our website. You can email support@homecarealgarve.com. You can call 00351 if you're outside Portugal, then 966 091 967. Yes, that's it. It's difficult to say that slowly.
It is.
Really
Say it again. Say it again quickly.
9660911967.
There we go. There we go. So, I, for one, and I'm really grateful to Bev and her team. You know, I'm getting on. Things are beginning to ache and everything else. And this, and of course,
You
with
think about it, don't you?
You do, and especially with mum and dad, it's all these things come into your mind more and more and more. So, whereas I've been thinking, oh my word, am I going to have to go back to the UK? And how am I going to do this? I don't have to, because you're just up the road. So.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming in. Thank you for explaining all of this.
For your time.
If there's, well, any time. So if there are any questions that you have, as Bev said, go straight to the website. If you'd like to learn more, if you've got my Instagram, Living Life Algarve, drop a note on there. I'll send you out the details again. For now, Bev, thank you from all of us.
Thank you.
And
it's a pleasure. It's a privilege.
Well, let's see where we go from here, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot more.
Thank you.
So that wraps it up for today. So as I said, we all know why we're here in the Algarve. There's wonderful, wonderful reasons to come in the first place. Now we've got a reason to be able to stay comfortably. So keep following Bev's story. Keep following us. Please like, subscribe, share. Keep us going. We've got some more surprises coming up for you in the next couple of months, few weeks, couple of months. But I'm not allowed to say anything yet, so that's all you're getting. For now, that's it. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Kit and Caboodle, high-quality pre-loved furniture. GC Partners, our service is our currency. At Living Life Algarve by Cat Almeida.